The first time I saw my boss cry, she was standing alone in the middle of a crowded ballroom, surrounded by hundreds of people, yet looking like the loneliest person in America. And when she grabbed my hand during a slow dance and whispered, "Please, don't leave me," I realized that the woman everyone feared was carrying a secret pain nobody could see. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and being there for someone when they need it most, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories. My name is Ryan, and this happened 3 years ago in Chicago, Illinois. I worked for a large financial company where my boss, Victoria Harper, was known as the toughest executive in the building. She was only 42, but people spoke about her like she was a legend. She demanded excellence, hated excuses, and rarely smiled. Employees became nervous whenever she entered a room. I was just a project manager trying to survive another year in corporate America. To most people, Victoria seemed cold and intimidating. But over time, I noticed small things nobody else paid attention to. Sometimes she stared out the office window for long periods. Sometimes she looked exhausted, even after a successful meeting. There was a sadness in her eyes that didn't match her powerful reputation. One Friday afternoon, the company announced its annual charity gala. Attendance was optional, but managers were strongly encouraged to go. I almost skipped it. Thankfully, I didn't. The ballroom overlooked Lake Michigan, glowing beneath thousands of sparkling lights. Employees laughed, music filled the air, and everyone seemed relaxed for once. Even Victoria looked different. Instead of her usual business suits, she wore a simple navy blue gown. For the first time, she looked less like a powerful executive and more like an ordinary woman trying to enjoy an evening. At least, that's what I thought. As the night continued, I noticed something strange. Victoria remained alone near the edge of the room. She smiled when people approached her, but the smile disappeared the moment they walked away. Then the music changed. A slow song began playing. To my surprise, she walked directly toward me. My heart nearly stopped. Without saying much, she asked if I would dance. The entire room seemed to freeze. Of course, I agreed. As we moved across the dance floor, I expected awkward silence. Instead, I noticed her hands trembling slightly. The confident woman who controlled million-dollar decisions suddenly seemed afraid. For several moments, neither of us spoke. Then she quietly admitted something that changed everything. Her husband had passed away 2 years earlier. No one at work knew. After his death, she buried herself in work because it was easier than facing the grief. Every promotion, every achievement, every late-night meeting had become a distraction from the loneliness waiting for her. At home, listening to her, I realized how wrong everyone had been. She wasn't cold. She was hurting. The music continued playing as tears formed in her eyes. Then came the words I'll never forget. She squeezed my hand gently and whispered, "Please, don't leave me." At first, I thought she meant the dance, but she didn't. For the first time in years, she was allowing herself to be vulnerable. She was terrified of being alone again. I didn't have the perfect words. I simply stayed. When the song ended, we continued talking near the balcony overlooking the city lights. She shared memories of her husband, stories she hadn't told anyone since his funeral. For hours, I listened. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give another person isn't advice. It's your presence. Over the next several months, something changed. Victoria slowly began opening up to the people around her. She started taking vacations. She stopped working 14-hour days. She even organized employee appreciation events. The office transformed. People no longer feared her. They respected her. More importantly, she started healing. One winter afternoon, she invited the entire department to a community volunteer event, helping struggling families during the holidays. Watching her hand gifts to children and speak with elderly residents, I saw a completely different person from the executive everyone once knew. The walls around her heart were finally coming down. One evening after the event, she thanked me, not for any project, not for any business success. She thanked me for staying on that dance floor. She said that night had reminded her that she didn't have to carry her grief alone. Years have passed since then. Victoria eventually retired from corporate life and started a non-profit organization focused on helping people rebuild after personal loss. Thousands of lives have been touched by her work, and sometimes I think back to that ballroom in Chicago. It's amazing how one simple act of kindness can change the direction of someone's life. We often assume the strongest people don't need support, but sometimes they're the ones who need it most. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may need this reminder today. And before we finish, I have a special request. Please comment below. You are never alone. You never know who might read those words and desperately need them today. Because the truth is, every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. Some hide it behind success. Some hide it behind smiles. Some hide it behind strength. And sometimes all it takes is one person willing to stay. That night, I thought I was simply dancing with my boss. What I didn't realize was that a frightened human heart was reaching out for connection. And by refusing to walk away, I witnessed something beautiful. The beginning of hope, the beginning of healing, the beginning of a second chance. Oh,